ได้ครับพวกพรีเซนต์นะครับเปิดไฟล์ของคุณเสียกลับไปที่จอเดี๋ยวแป๊บนึงดิเอาอันนี้ก่อนอ่ะไมค์2 ตัวด้วยนะครับคนไหนไม่ดีผมกลับไปไม่ได้ยินเสียงไม่ได้คะแนนนะ
Yeah, sure, bro. เฮ้ยไปเรียกเฟอร์รี่มาดิเฮ้ยตีได้เหรอวะเฮ้ยแป๊บนึงเฮียอะไรวะนี่เฮ้ยฮะไม่ให้พูดเลยไหม
ไหนดีก็
มัน
จะมีอันนึงอ่ะที่มันเป็นแค่ว่าน่าจะเจอนะนี่อันนี้ป่ะมันเขียนว่านิวป่ะอันนี้ไม่สดใสแล้วเริ่มได้เลยครับพูดได้เลยครับ
ครับผมโอเคครับใช่ครับโรงเรียนไทยครับ4ครับแล้วใครเจแปนใครเปิดอ่ะกูเป็นคนพูดแต่ว่ามึงพูดเปิดHello everyone. Today we're going to present about our IS project. That is the study of the probability of getting long COVID and it's associated with the symptoms. So let's get started. This is our table of content. Here we're going to presenting 8 of these. For the first one of this project. อะไรFor the first is the abstract. So as we know, for this project, we aim to investigate the long-term health implication of COVID-19 infection in the COVID-19 era by analyzing the medical records of the patients that has been recovered. So we found a very diverse range of symptoms, for example, like neurological, respiratory, and cardiovascular disease. So the specific groups that were in the experiment were more susceptible to some side effects. So we highlighting the crucials of the interventions and follow up the COVID-19 survivors, like how they are can heal and can be refrained by the symptoms. And moreover, we need to understanding the post-infection effect. That is very crucial for forming the health policy in our society and community, and also improving the long-term outcome for the COVID-19 patients. Next one, the acknowledgement. So we would most likely appreciate to Mr. Egra Subserm, our former IS teacher, who provide us a support, advocation, guidance, advice for completing this project throughout the whole 3-year period. And also we would like to thank you, Dr. Shokran Seta Support, our advisor, and also Captain Kringkai Kintong, Gorn Kintong Dad. He's the board of neurosurgery and also our project consultant as well. for the introduction of this project, the first one is revolutionizing patient care. So we know that COVID-19 is very comprehensive. We can gain a very efficient and vital knowledge so that we can use this knowledge that we gain to develop the strategies and advocate the mechanism to cure this. And this research also emphasizes on Thai people to uncover the factor that has been affecting the post-COVID-19 condition with the patients. Also, we got the guiding future health policies. So as we know, understanding the implication of COVID-19, so we can inform our society and communities about these, and also we can ensure the well-being of Thai people so that they have more knowledge to encounter with the COVID-19 effect. We got the global impact. We got the global impact of COVID-19. So as we know, during the COVID-19 pandemic, this era, we got over 760 million cases and nearly 70 million of global deaths as of July 2023. And also, new variants remind us of the need for the continual vigilance. Another introduction of this one is the long COVID lingering effects. So after the recovery of the COVID-19 symptoms, we got a long COVID with persistent symptoms lasting around 1 to 2 months. And also these complex conditions necessitate deeper understanding for we to improve the patient care and well-being after the post-effect of COVID-19. For our project, we got 3 objectives. The first one is to investigate the percentages of individuals who experience a prolonged effect of COVID-19 following infection. The second one is to investigate whether there are any factors or side effects that influence the likelihood of developing a long-term COVID symptom. And the third one is to analyze the prevalence of each symptom of long COVID among the individuals.
Next, we're going to talk about methodology. The survey had been created to determine some of the possible factors of long COVID and the use possibility of getting them. This survey used Google Forms to make it easier to store, respond, and analyze data. The poll was carried out in Bangkok and Chonburi, and it was aimed at individuals who had previously contracted COVID-19. We hope to collect a large enough sample size of 100 response to assure proper representation. The survey question usually ask, the survey question we ask are ages. Does those people who take this survey develop long COVID? Does they have any chronic disease or any infection history? Do they have long COVID symptoms? Or what if so? What is the duration of their recovery? We sorted the age range to 4 categories. First, teen. The first category, teens to young adult, 13 to 30. Next, adult, 31 to 35 years old. Senior, 46 to 60, and elderly, over 60 years old. The plan was that we conducted an extensive review of literature to fully understand the concept of long COVID and its prevalence among those exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 viruses, which is understanding the disease. Next, we created a survey to determine the frequency of prolonged COVID symptoms and investigate potential causes. To reach a larger audience, we utilize an online tool, especially Google Forms, by the first sending it to people and make them send to others as a chain message. The survey was conducted in Bangkok and Chonburi and target individuals who had previously contracted COVID-19. We aim to gather a sufficient sample size of 100 response. And after that, we analyze the data.
Okay, so next up is the results. Yeah, we have 104 responses from all of the Google form we have received. So we categorize, like the Cesar said, that
into a range, age range. So this is the number of responses of the people. Also, these are their percentile. So the results show that the at a range of 30 to 30, which is considered like teen to maybe adult, consider that 50% of them have the long COVID symptoms, which is quite usually not that high compared to the 40 to 60, which is the highest. So yeah. So that after that, we compared it to number of people who got long COVID and compare the percentage that who have the chronic diseases that got long COVID before, that got the long COVID, long-term COVID. So 50%, 50% have the normal people. We have conducted the result is 50-50, and the people that have chronic diseases have like 65 and 35. So finally, we analyze the symptoms of the long COVID-19 which individual experience. So most of them don't really feel anything, as you can see that they respond us with no symptoms. But aside from that, most of them have the respiratory system associated, like some kind of lung disease, or maybe lung issues, or maybe their breathing issues. And aside from that, we have like fatigueness. Yeah, maybe the COVID get into something about the the brain system or some kind of that. And other from that too, it's kind of it's kind of minor for the overall.
Hello. So let's move on to the discussion part. So firstly, it could be seen that higher the age range, higher the rate of getting post-COVID-19 symptoms, as you can see from the table right here. Yeah. Secondly, it is also evident that people that have chronic disease have a greater chance of getting long COVID-19 than normal people. And according to discussion 1 and 2, elderly individuals and those with chronic disease are more likely to experience long-lasting effects from COVID-19 infection. Therefore, it is important to take extra care of the elderly and those with chronic disease and keep them from contracting COVID-19. So let's move on to a conclusion. This study demonstrates that COVID-19 infection can lead to persistent non-respiratory effects in individuals even after recovery. These effects include neurological and muscular issues. By analyzing the results, the research identified high-risk groups for severe post-infection side effects, which are elderly and people having chronic illness, allowing for personalized care and support. That's our reference, and that's the end of our presentation.
Mìnhเริ่มก่อนใช่ไหมมึงเริ่มก่อนทำไมแบบเป็นยังไงที่เครียดแล้วเสร็จไม่ร่วงซูเปอร์ลีกาถ้ากูหยุดพูดได้ผมพูดโอเคปะเพราะว่าเราสลับกันยากนิดนึง
เป็นยังไงอ่ะพี่ใคร
ไม่เกี่ยว
Okay, so let's start our IS presentation session, and our topic is aging population in Thailand, a comparative study, in which our aim is to basically compare what the other countries have done to the elderly to set Thailand off on the right foot on taking care of the elderly and its impact on the country. The team is me, and then Pasadon is this guy. Okay, starting off with the introduction. Now, what really classifies as an aging society? An aging society is a country in which 7% of the population is over 65 years of age. And what causes the aging society is basically the fertility rate. As the fertility rate drops, the chances of a country becoming an aging society increases. And as to why we chose this topic and why we think it's an issue is that in terms of economy, it causes a lot of problems in such as productions of products. A lot of people go over the age to work, and that leads to unemployment. And also politics, and the more elderly there are in the country, the more politicians are going to make a campaign that is based on the age society. And so that means the young people won't have a chance to participate in politics. And as for Thailand's future, we like to compare Thailand's future to Japan's future because we are about the same level or about to reach Japan's level in terms of aging society. And yeah, in Japan, people have started making solutions such as increasing the age at which people retire from their jobs.
Right, so next is our objectives. The first objective of our research is to see how China, Japan, and other countries tackle their problem in elderly, both in political, health, and social care aspects. Next is to compare between those countries and Thailand on how they approach this problem. Next up is the methodology. First off, we find the research of the number of elderly in each countries. Hopefully, we get the most recent research for the accuracy purposes. And next is we compile the data into more easier to understand probably, or the comparison tables or the charts.
Okay, as for our results, we did say that we're going to compare it to other countries, but we've only compared it currently to two countries, which is Japan and China. And now for Japan, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has done this thing called Abenomics, which has a concept that is called the three arrows. First is that one of the three arrows is increasing the government spending. Second is to reform Japan's economy structurally. And the third is to increase monetary status. And this Abenomics thing has proven to succeed in Japan as the economy of Japan is being more sustainable to its society. And next, for social care and concerns, is that, okay, there was two main concerns regarding this matter. First is neglect and abuse towards the elderly. And the second is a concept called social hospitalization. Basically, neglect is straightforward. It's just neglect. Families are starting to neglect their elderly people, like their grandma, their grandpas. And social hospitalization is basically when a family is not sustainable enough to sustain the elderly in their family, they go to a hospital and they put the elderly into that hospital as to get them the care they need, that without spending effort, which in turn kind of like overpopulates the hospital, which causes problems for the entire society.
Alright, next up in our research, we have China. They have the pension system, which give the pension in terms of money and security for the elderly that can work for themselves and can protect themselves. Next up is the delay retirement. They encourage the people in their 50s to 60s to continue working by promoting them into a higher salary position. And they also loosen the one-child policy, which allow people to have more than one child, obviously, and so they are more likely to take care of their parents. So in finalizing, this study can be improved further by doing more research in a European country or African country, and we also by it we can understand more on what Thailand can and cannot do. And next up is the conclusion. What do you gain from listening to this presentation or reading our research? Is the inspiration and guidance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have any questions about this presentation. Let's go to the next group there. Is there any new presentation? Next group isไปมาเลยครับเขาอยู่ห้องสี่ครับไปเรียกมาเรียกเพื่อนมาครับขึ้นเลยครับขึ้นเลยเหลือในกลุ่มไหนครับใครเหลือใครเปล่าเหลือด้วยเรียกเข้าห้องน้ำคนไหนเหลือแล้วกูมึงโอเคได้เลยครับมึงต่อนี้ไม่มีเลยอ่ะก่อนแล้วกันมีเปิดใจด้วยเลิฟคุณเลยเนี่ยพี่กา
So the topic of my project ต้องบอกชื่อก่อน The
topic of my project is the correlation between shopping paths and the shelf placement in supermarkets. So the reason I started to study about this topic is because when I go to supermarket, there seems to be a pattern that every supermarket uses, which is the pattern that they put the section of products in the same places in supermarkets. Although they are in a different supermarkets, there would likely be an obvious pattern that they would put like some stuff always at the front of the supermarket and some stuff always be at the end of the supermarket. So I wanted to know why do they do this, and so I studied the pattern of the placement in supermarkets and the customer's behavior in order to improve the placement in supermarkets. So the objective of my project, the first one is to understand how customers choose their path in supermarkets, which leads to the second objective, which is to understand the placement strategy that is used in supermarkets, and the last is to be a guideline for effective product placement in supermarkets. So my first step is observation. So I've been observed for around 10 supermarkets in Bangkok to see what is the pattern of the sections and the placement in supermarkets. So here are the list of some sections that almost every supermarket have in common, which is bakery, beverage, pharmacy, produce and floral, dairy, prepared food, and meat. And there could be some more, it depends on the supermarkets. So from what I have been observed, most of them put the produce section always be at the front of supermarkets, and on the opposite side, which is at the end of supermarkets, it is usually the meat, seafood, or bread, and together they are usually the beverage section next to them. In the middle of the supermarket are something very random. It could be very different from each supermarket. So the second method is the second step is survey. So I make a questionnaire asking the customers of how they walk in supermarkets. So I have a list of the sections in supermarkets and ask them which one is their first priority, and then the second, and then the third to last one. So the list consists of 9 sections, which are bakery, dairy, beverage, meat, and pharmacy, also items, miscellaneous items, and produce and floral. So I give them these 9 lists, and I like them to choose which one is first, then the second, then the third, and then to last one. So, and I also ask a question of are they satisfied with the current placement in supermarkets? So these are the examples of my survey. So I, I let them rank in order, and I ask their satisfaction. So for the project instrument, I use the Google form, and my target group is people aging from 30 to 60, which are the age group of the people who usually go to supermarkets. For 200 people, the questionnaire covers the question of how they walk in supermarkets and whether it correlates to the placement of supermarkets, placement of sections of products. So my expected outcome is that people would go for the produce section first. And for the result, you can find that the section that most people go first when they think of going to the supermarket are produce and meat for 46% and 38% respectively, and the others for just about 16%. And for the second place, it shows the same trend, which is the meat section for 42% and produce for 33%, which means that people, when they think of going to the supermarket, they would go to these 2 sections first, and the others were just 25%. And the last place, the sections that they choose, the last one, which means they didn't plan of going to these sections, which are miscellaneous items, pharmacies, and household items. So the result shows that most people would think of going to the produce and supermarket, produce and meat sections first, while pharmacy, household items, and miscellaneous items are the least popular sections in supermarkets. So from this result, we can use the strategy that is widely used in many countries. Like in the European supermarkets, they put the bread sections at the end of the supermarket. This is because bread is one of the most common and most popular meal for Europeans. So they put bread at the end of the supermarkets to encourage people to walk towards the end of supermarkets, which increase the chance that people would buy stuff that they didn't plan to. So my possible change for this for the supermarket in Bangkok is that for the pattern that I said earlier, we can put produce section at the end of the supermarket along with the meat section, and then we can put the household items, miscellaneous items, and pharmacy section in front of the supermarket to increase the chance that people would buy this stuff because they didn't plan of buying this stuff to begin with. So we have to encourage them when they walk to the produce and meat section, they might end up changing their mind. So here are my references. Thank you.
ตามสบายเลยครับ เดี๋ยวกูไปแถวนั้นอ่ะล้อมNext one. Yeah, Cam, a server for you. KIL.
เข้าได้แล้วเข้าได้เข้าไม่ได้
ไม่มีใครมีอันเซอร์เลย Nobody typed this shit. ก็เองไม่ดี
ใครจะอยู่บ้างไหม
มึงก็ไม่ส่งลิงก์ลง
นี่มีคนร้องขอมันบอกว่าให้ช่วยลองลองเฮ้ยเข้าใครเหรอคุณจะไปซูชิหรอ
เข้าผิดเมลก็พูดเลยอ๋อไม่ไม่ให้ครับคนไหนพูดสองงานอันนี้นะพูดไปรู้เรื่องไม่ว่ากันนะไอเอสหมดยังห้องแต่จีโน่อาการจีโน่อีกคนที่เดียว
Low test. Okay, good. Okay, good afternoon. Today, our group will be presenting about our project, which is a electricity saving walk-in refrigerator. Okay, for a introduction, due to our research about the cost of electricity in the household, we have found out that households have very high cost of electricity in using refrigerator. So we try to find a solution to reduce the cost of electricity per month for the household. So we begin this project, a walk-in refrigerator, which focus on reducing the cost of electricity in using refrigerator. So this is our objective. First, we try to use a solar cell to the walk-in refrigerator to reduce the cost of electricity and also reduce the global warming by using a natural source of electricity instead. And to know the work of this project and then to check the electricity consumption of the refrigerator. And the expectation is our project need to be done by August 2023, which is already done because we have presented in the symposium last year. And to be able to calculate and learn about the electrical consumption in electrical devices in-house, especially a refrigerator. These are our purchasing materials. The first is for the structure of the refrigerator. We have a metal PU sandwich panel, refrigerator door, the refrigerator door, the pressure relief door, the lighting system, PVC strip curtain, and the aluminum shaker plate. And the second one is the refrigerator system. We have air-cooled condensing unit, we have unit cooler, electric control cabinet, copper tube insulation, and inverter control. And the lastly is a hybrid solar off-grid with have 5 kilowatt solar cell single phase, the inverter system, and the battery storage. And the total amount is 368,000. It is the whole budget.
This is the money spent for.
Oh no, it's only the calculated. It's only the calculated one. We didn't buy all of it. It's only the plan. ใช้300,000ทุกโปรเจกต์ ให้มันพูดแล้วเข้าให้เสียงเข้าใหม่
ก็จะรู้ไหมว่า
ไม่รู้อะ
Okay, so this is the design of our project. So this is the draft of walk-in refrigerator. Have 3.6 meter and length and 2.6 meter height with 2.4 meter width. And this is the electrical system connect with the battery and the solar cell system. This is the refrigerator system, so we designed to put the evaporator outside and linked with the PU sandwich panel, the base. This is the
refrigerator liquid and expansion valve connect with the condenser. So we calculate to make the temperature room inside the walk-in refrigerator to be around 0 to 2 degrees Celsius to like store vegetable and meat, but not really in a like long term to be in the freezing point. The design project, we use the pew sandwich panel. Right. Yeah, we use the pew sandwich panel. We use it because, well, first of all, pew sandwich panel is consisting polyurethane foam sandwich between two side skin, made of different materials to be a thermal insulation provided by foam. Also, it's lightweight, so it's better. And build install, so we connect to system, the solar system and refrigerator system together, linked with the electrical system. And next we'll build the storage, as I mentioned, the design, and install the system. So this is how it works. So start with so we choose to use the refrigerant for a as a cooling liquid for this refrigerator system because it is environmental friendly first of all, and it's used better than as the same as other. So let's start with the compressor. Compressor, very simple. Compress low pressure to high pressure and change the liquid state to gas state. And now it's go to the condenser. Condenser also condense gas to liquid and change to high pressure because like it's been to like make inside the room cooler, and then it's flow to the expansion valve. Expansion valve have the used to decrease the pressure from like 250 and about like 4 to 40 pounds to make low temp and decrease the pipe size in order to decrease the pressure. Next is to evaporator in the room to absorb heat through evaporator, make liquid say evap to gas and make it high pressure and high temp to make the room cooler. Solar cell. Oh, what? My bad. Solar cell system. So solar cell system. Well, we use 7 solar cell system, and we calculate that this 7 solar cell system is able to maintain itself daily. Then the electrical particle flow to battery. We use 11 battery, like 2000 amp, 11 battery to store the electrical, and we also need the inverter to change the DC from solar cell, change it to AC to use in the walk-in refrigerator, and we still need to pipe from electrical from other sources to if there have any problems in our solar cell system, there's still electricity from other sources to still maintain the walk-in refrigerator. The electrical control system, well, first of all, it's linked from those systems that I mentioned the last page to the electrical control system. So in the electrical control system, it also contains an inverter. The inverter is used to control the spin of the condenser inside the room. So like basically, for example, condenser like spin around like 1200 spin per hour to make the room cooler, but it doesn't have to spin at this rate every single time because well we use it to cool to 0 to 2, right? But when it
at 0 to 2 degrees Celsius, it doesn't have to spin 1200 round per hour, per minute. It just needs to like spin around like 800 per minute to maintain the temperature inside. So that's where the inverter come in handy. The thermostat, very simple, used to control temperature inside the room and to control some of the motor inside.
Okay, after being produced out the walk-in refrigerator, is that in our procedure we are going to test two things, which is the refrigerator system and electrical system of the refrigerator. Next is the calculation part of the devices using in the refrigerator. First is the load calculation of walk-in refrigerator. Is the size of the refrigerator, which is equal to 3.5 kilowatts. And the condensing unit, which we use in 2 horsepower, 3.5 amps, 480 volts, and 50 hertz size, which is 1.5 kilowatt per unit. Yes, and we use 10 hours per day, so it's equal to 15 kilowatt hours. The next part is the lights in the refrigerator. We calculate by using the 16 watt per light, and we use 2 lights, which equal to 32, and then we use in 5 hours per day, so it's equal to 160 kilo watt hours. And the next part is calculated P cell from calculated P cell from P cell. So it is a watt load divided by 4 and 15 kilowatt plus 160 kilowatt unit. Okay, it's 15 kilowatt hours adding to 160 watt hours and divided by 4. So it equals to 3,790 watts. So we need 7 of 600 watt solar panels. And the solar charge controller, one 600 watt solar cell equal to 16 amp. And มันต้องเป็น7 it needs to be 7 multiplied by 16 amp, so it equal to 112 amp. And lastly, the battery using in the refrigerator calculated by 600 watt multiplied by 8 hours and divided by 24 volts multiplied by 0.8 and 0.85 equal to 300 amp hours.
So we need at least like 11 battery.
พูดใส่ไมค์
So we need at least like 11 battery to maintain.
ทำไมเราไม่ถือแล้ววะ And this is the progress of our project. For the report, after we have handed to our teacher, IS teacher, we have a grammar mistake and some improvement like the size of the front or the headline. But now we already improve it and hand it later. The draft of the refrigerator, which is the metal structure we have seen in the picture, we have completed, but it also has the problem we have is the slight mental mistake required the master to help create a good draft. Lastly, the building the base of the project. We have done it for 70% because it's lack of material. This is the structure. Okay, so lastly in the summary, we have done all the introduction, we have done all the background and the tutorial with this our assignment since M5, and we have almost done in material, but in the term of the system, like the coding system and the electrical system, we haven't done it. We have 50% of it. So the report is 90%, and the project, like the structure, the refrigerator we have making is only 40%. This is our reference and the literature review project. Thank you.
So you work on the solar cell panel.
Yeah, the exact difference we haven't buy it. Like we just plan the whole project, but we cannot do all of it.
Okay. Next presentation, please. Next group, please. Please use the microphone. Yeah.
Okay, so today I'll be presenting about my project on selective long chain aldehyde detections with hydrazine functionalized naphthalimide binded with soluble PILA5 arenes. So first, let's go to the introduction part. So firstly, let's review some statistics. Lung cancer is the 6th leading cause of death globally. And in correlation to this, some long-chain aldehydes, so aldehydes that has 8 to 9 carbons, are found in the breath of lung cancer patients. So in this project, we'll be using a commonly store-bought dye, functionalize it with a substance called hydrazine, and then let it detect these aldehydes and see if it will have more selectivity towards a certain kind of them. So aldehydes can come in, let's say, many flavors. They can come in 1 carbon up to the commonly used 10 carbon aldehyde, and longer chain aldehydes, as I've said, can be detected in breath fluids of respiratory disease patients. So other common detection methods such as optical, electrochemical, or biological sensors can cause too much, or can either be slow or ineffective. So I propose this project proposed uh, op- another way to detect these things with a fluorescent sensor. PILA5 arenes, also known as pillurines, are a group of macrocycle organic compounds that are linked by methylene bridges made from a benzene ring templated in 1,2 dichloroethane and a Lewis acid to act as a catalyst. So the hypothesis of this project is that the original dye has a weak fluorescent itself. When binded with an aldehyde, can strongly fluoresce, and when we combine this compound with a macrocycle, so a pillurine, the binding effect on the host and the guest can make the fluorescent effect stronger. So let's review the objective. First one is to have a fast and selective aldehyde detector. Second one is to have a water-soluble aldehyde detector, so we can use it in more of a biological setting, such as humans or water. And the third one is to test the brightness of each complex dye. So each aldehyde will be tested from C1 to C10 and graphed to see which one has more selectivity. So let's review the procedure of the synthesis. So first, a naphthalimide dye. This one is commonly store-bought, and then we put in hydrazine to functionalize both the bromine and the upper oxygen here to make the dye. This is the HMR spectrum. Okay, so
this is the fluorine that we are using. So first, I'll just go over this quickly, so it'll be in the 10-minute mark. So we first make the monomer with the tosylate tails, and then we cyclize it into a fluorine. Then we change this tosylate group into 2 more groups. So first we use toluene, and second, this is a solvent. First we use 1-methyl imidazole to functionalize them, and second one we use a pyridine. So these compounds can make this usually insoluble compounds more soluble, since when they interact with, when they change these tosylate groups, they have a positive charge, so it's more soluble in water. So the procedure to test the brightness of each dye, each compound, is we put in first the dye with an aldehyde in a buffer solution. We stir it for 15 minutes, and we test it with a UV light and a spectrometer. These are the varying conditions with the dye and without the host, without the fluorine, and with the host. So the results, we see a varying amounts of selectivity towards the dye, which much more on the C3 than the other ones. So usually this one is the original dye, which has very low fluorescence, and the usual C1, which is formaldehyde, is around in the middle of the graph, with C3, C4, and C5 having higher rates of fluorescence. As we shown, normal nonanol or C9 aldehyde get enhanced by using the host, while some aldehydes such as C8 and C7 experience a drop in intensity. And also some of them, like the formaldehyde, C3 and C6, experience less to no change at all. The major ones are C4 and C5 with some levels of heightened fluorescent levels. So in the trend of wavelengths, most of the compounds that are that was added with the host experience a higher levels of fluorescence. So this means that we can usually test some of them, especially the C9 or the nonanol that we are interested in. That some research said that it's found in breath fluids of lung cancer patients. So in conclusion, was the hypothesis correct? So yes, the host definitely enhanced the fluorescent levels of nonanol and some other compounds, and also the host can dissolve in water since it has a positive ion charge. So this one is a summary. So we can detect aldehydes with high intensity, and within 15 minutes of the addition, the purines and the compounds were able to dissolve in water and buffer solution very easily, and the interested compound, the nonanol, can be was shown to have more fluorescence. And thank you.
Thank you very much. So you try to increase the fluorescence intensity, right?
Yes.
By using how measure?
It's a here. So the aldehyde connects to the original dye that we've synthesized. So usually this will fluoresce in a certain amount. But however, if a pillar 5 arene, so the first hypothesis was if the gas entered the host, it will lower the overall movement so that it can express more of their energy in simple terms as fluorescent light.
Then what is the connection between the strong fluorescent to the lung cancer detection.
So
How do you use this to that?
so if we can detect strong fluorescence, maybe later on we can put this dye into maybe a paper-based or gel-based form. So a small amount of non or other volatile aldehydes that comes out from the lungs, which some research have shown that lung cancer patients breathe out more aldehydes, more levels of aldehydes, so that it could be a fast and easy test paper like a COVID antigen test kit.
So this is the typical technique that the doctors use, right?
Still not used. So typical techniques for if it's doctor, maybe they go to do scans or things like that, but that takes time. So this one is just proposing that if we can detect a trend or a small trend to confirm it before we can go do any long testing, that it could be good for the patient. And other aldehyde detection methods probably take more time, like mass spectrometry or things like that, that cannot detect it in small amounts.
Do you think whether we can apply this detection for the, I don't know, in English, tuberculosis, which is
similar to COVID and lung cancer? Yes, I believe if we can find a similar compound or maybe even the same compound, if it's an aldehyde or other, let's say, other compounds that are breathed out. So because this is just a proof of concept with aldehyde and a dye, maybe if it's other compounds, we could have another dye that can connect to these and have long enough arms to connect to the pillarines, since smaller aldehydes such as formaldehyde only has one carbon, so the carbon tail is not able to interact with a big macrocycle like this one.
Thank you very much.
ขอบคุณครับ
มีอีกเรือบ้างครับครับทั้งหมดแล้วทำไปแล้วก็เลิกครับเลิกงานเลยกี่โมงมากับเรือเวลา
ประมาณครึ่งชั่วโมงไม่ถึงครึ่งชั่วโมง
หรือว่าไม่มีใครจะไปเซ็นของนี่แล้ววิชาฟิสิกส์เดี๋ยววันศุกร์มันจะแน่น